honorable cabinet members here present, representative of the African Union Commission, members of diplomatic corps, business leaders, distinguished guests, and participants. Good morning. Let me start by welcoming you all to Rwanda and to the East and Central Africa Mining Forum. We are pleased to host you for the first time here in Kigali. Africa's mining sector is one of the largest in the world, and it plays a key role in development and economic growth of many African countries. In 2016, minerals accounted for an average of 70% of total African export and about 28% of gross domestic products. In terms of job creation, the mining sector is associated with 12 million jobs on our continent. It is also important to note that each direct mining job generates around 2 more indirect jobs through backward and forward linkages. Therefore, as a source of income, it is an important sector for our population. Distinguished guests, to maximize the benefit of mining, African countries need to come together and think about how mining can contribute better to local development. This can be achieved by making sure workers and the communities see real benefit from large-scale industrial mining and that the environment is protected. It is equally important that nations negotiate contracts with mining multinationals that generate fair resources, revenues, and stipulate local input for operations. At regional level, it means integrating mining into industrial trade policy. Africa's own response to tackling the paradox of great minerals wealth existing side by side with pervasive poverty was to implement the Africa Mining Vision, which was adopted by head of state at the February 29, 2009 African Union Summit. The African Mining Vision advocates the need for transparent, equitable, and optimal exploitation of mineral resources to strengthen broad-based sustainable growth and socioeconomic development. It also aspires to leverage Africa's natural resources for the industrialization for Africa. This requires a commitment to add value instead of exporting raw minerals as it is commonly done today. The recently adopted African Continental Free Trade Agreement is a welcome additional support to the realization of the Africa Mining Vision. Through this agreement, the private sector should leverage increased economies of scale and access to regional raw materials and intermediate inputs to develop better conditions for regional value chains and integration into global value chains. This will sustain the transformation of Africa's economy towards great utilization of technology for value addition of our mineral resources, thereby realizing the African Mining Vision. Distinguished guests, the government of Rwanda appreciates the vision of the East and the Central Mining Forum to become an annual global mining event, which will effectively promote sustainable investment and the trade in the mining sector. This will also raise the investment profile of emerging mining countries in the East and the Central Africa region. In order to achieve this vision, This forum is expected to develop a platform for governments, mining companies, and investors to engage on investment and financing of projects across mining value chains. It is also expected to facilitate a discussion on improving and enhancing mineral trade and developing enablers for value addition projects in the region. It should also engage stakeholders across the mining value chain on the issue of mining productivity, health and safety standards, and environmental practices. Distinguished guests, Rwanda's mineral exports, like other countries which export raw materials, continue to suffer from the global price fluctuations. Moreover, only negligible trade in minerals happened between African countries. I hope this forum will provide a platform to reflect on various ways to change that situation and support the growing investments into mineral smelting and refining in our region. There is still a big productivity inefficiency that wastes revenues potential. Estimates show that over 60% of global minerals are in Africa, yet revenues are still below 20% and exploration investment under 15% annually. This situation needs to change. In Rwanda, we have reviewed and streamlined the legal and the regulatory framework to make mining sector competitive and attractive. We are consolidating high potential sites previously fragmented to create large-scale concession areas for big capital. The skill set of our labor market is also increasingly competitive, thanks to the University of Rwanda School of Geology and Mining, as well as technical schools. At the same time, the government of Rwanda has continued exploration and development of geological and mineral information. This is captured on an online platform accessible for free. All these efforts are to foster a more modern and professional mining sector. But to complete the process, we need private sector capital to invest, and that is where everyone in this room comes in to play a role. Distinguished guests, as I conclude, over these 2 days, I hope mining companies, investors, financial and government ministries and agencies can develop partnership and work toward contributing to the rapid growth of the mining industry in the region and Africa as a whole. I hereby declare the East and the Central African Mining Forum officially open and wish you a productive deliberation. I thank you for your kind attention.